A gacha game's life cycle is often dictated by one of three things. 1. The game is continuously updated. 2. The game has new exhilarating characters to collect. And 3. The game has a great endgame mode. Ideally, a combination of the three are needed for a gacha game to thrive. Many other games find a way to balance all three, but either way, those three things are needed. Games like Genshin Impact, NieR, and Limbus Company have cracked the formula of 2 out of 3 of these modes, being constant updates and new characters. However, many games fall flat on their face in the face of a proper endgame mode. What constitutes a good endgame mode, though? I'm Void Enigma, and I'll be talking about if the endgame of Wuthering Will is suitable, and if they will stand up to other gacha games of the same genre. So, back to the original question. What makes a good endgame? Repeatable, challenging, and fun content. Something you can either challenge every few weeks, or something that you can challenge indefinitely for rewards. When you put it that way, the Spiral Abyss of Genshin Impact comes to mind, but the issue with this mode is, anyone who puts dollars towards obtaining characters, or if you've just been playing the game for over 2 years, this game will just feel like a joke. You can plug in 8 of the same units and blast through the Abyss with ease, especially if you have powerful constellations like C2 Neuvillette and C2 Arlecchino. Hell, if you have C2 Neuvillette and Arlecchino, you can easily clear the entire Abyss with just these 2 characters and not even have to worry about any other teams. You might need a character to break a shield for certain bosses, but that's about it. So despite this mode being fun the first few times, it becomes monotonous and boring eventually, since with enough investments, you can just plow through it. I can't imagine the dissatisfaction of whales who play this game for 5 minutes a month and can never test their character's limits. Now, the situation is very similar to Wuthering Waves' Tower of Adversity, but Wuthering Waves is new. So we are still in the early phases of this game where the Tower of Adversity is still hard. For me, however, I still find it challenging and engaging, but I was able to easily clear it once I actually raised my main carry to level 90. Eventually, Wuwa will face the same problem Genshin Impact faced, where the tower becomes more of a chore rather than a fun experience. It'll be fun when you get new characters, but do you see yourself doing the tower multiple times just for fun? I do, and many other content creators do, because we are content creators, but not everyone cares about testing a whole bunch of different teams in the tower. There's hope though, because we have the holograms, and those are very challenging bosses. The issue with this is, however, these are one-time fights. Once you beat Hologram 6, you have no reason to go back to them. Because of the difficulty of these fights, it is a relief to be done with them and never have to worry about them again, so you will rarely find people who go back to voluntarily suffer against that madness, unless of course, you're a masochist. Well, I guess we are on Planet Masochist here if we're putting ourselves through gacha hell. Either way, holograms are fun and engaging gameplay, but they offer really one-time difficult bosses, and you can either be stumped for a few hours or a few days, but once you beat them, you're not really going back to them. This does, however, tap into the more hardcore fan base, who will actually challenge these and create challenges for themselves to complete this. Solo runs, no-hit runs, etc, you name it, they're going to do it. This doesn't solve the issue of endgame, however, but you can fix the endgame on this channel by leaving a like on this video. Every like helps progress this channel to greater heights, so go ahead and smash that like button for me. Now, I mentioned how certain games take on endgame, but a way to fix the issue of not enough engaging and challenging endgame is to make semi-permanent endgame modes. This is a game mode that comes and goes, and it changes enough so that the changes are drastic enough for you to actually notice a significant difference. This is done in many game modes, like Punishing Grey Raven and Limbus Company, with game modes such as Tower of Babel in PGR and Refraction Railway in Limbus Company. While Babel is only around once in a while, Refraction Railway and Limbus Company alternates every few months, but you have full access to it when it is around. The rules and bosses change so drastically that it feels like completely new content. Meanwhile, PGR's Tower of Babel has some of the most difficult challenges in the game, and it is quite difficult to get all the rewards. The main reward for Tower of Babel and Refraction Railway, however, is the ranking. A ranking system implemented in a single-player game is a way for hardcore players to stay engaged, because competition will make people play more. Don't you want that exclusive title that can only be obtained for a limited time? While Refraction Railway has no ranking, it does have a title that shows how many turns you cleared it in. If you're a 69 turn clearer, or someone who wants to just clear in as little as turns as 30, either way, those players exist for both sides and it's a way to enjoy the game even more. Wuthering Waves has yet to add a time-gated endgame mode for a challenge, but they do have one more engaging endgame mode that anyone can play at almost any time. The Elusive Realm is the best endgame that Wuthering Wave has in my opinion. Having a mode that changes every time you enter it keeps things engaging. This is done in games like Limbus Company as well with the Mirror Dungeon, and Genshin has tried to do it themselves with the Imaginarium Theater, but in my opinion they failed drastically. Because this mode feels very restrictive and just not fun, which is a stark contrast to what a roguelite should be. The Elusive Realm is around 1 month out of the month and offers so much diversity, it's amazing. Every update is a unique realm, and it's fun to go through. This mode can get a bit easy with the right combinations of characters and upgrades, but it still takes learning the game mode to make out what works. It gives many rewards as well, which helps elevate the reason to actually play. You have to play this mode about 6 to 10 times to get all of the rewards, so you'll be able to use a unique character each time, and each character has a completely new, diverse kit. It's just really fun. More characters will be added in the future as well, so that promotes many opportunities for Kuro games to add unique gameplay options for characters. Even with that though, I just feel like it's not enough. Even with these game modes, Wuthering Waves is still missing one mode that pulls it all together. Their battle events are fun, but they're just one-time things. While the tower is fun as well for now, once we have those well-built characters and have optimized their rotations, it can become stale after a couple of tries. And even with that, the hologram challenges feel like a challenge that we should just overcome once and not go back to. I feel that no game has ever reached the pinnacle of having a great endgame with great updates and great characters. Many come very close, and I feel like PGR is the best in those regards, but even then, the same game mode over and over will eventually fall flat. But I feel the answer is quite simple. I feel like a solution to all of this is something similar to the Elusive Realm. Instead of one character, let the player bring in an entire team, disable all of the buffs, or maybe even keep on the buffs to make it more fun and engaging, and let the players just run through the Elusive Realm with their entire team. It will be random, and it will be fun. You can practice your gameplay rotations against many different scenarios, as well as have different sceneries per fight. You can actually just cycle out all of the current Elusive Realm content, and just have those going, and eventually the library is going to be so filled, you just won't know what's going to even happen. Let it be available 24/7 and enable an analysis of your data. Damage charts, etc. Just stuff that you can study so you can actually know more about your team and where all the damage is coming from, or how little damage your arena is actually contributing. Who knows? And if that's all too difficult, add a damn training dummy. Like, that alone is endgame content. Do you know how many people would just, like, lab out skills and stuff on a training dummy? Like, come on. Someone needs to finally add a training dummy to a damn gacha game. Subscribe to this video if you found it entertaining, and make sure to smash that like button. And until next time, Enigma out.